Alrighty, I think we're live again. I guess we'll see. Super cash. Very well managed, obviously. Alright, let me get my chat here. And then we will start tearing this bad boy down. Hopefully, sorry, I am here. I am paying attention. Hopefully everything should be better. Audio should be a little bit better tonight. Oh my goodness, this app. All right. Is that you, Vince? Oh, somebody's here. Hey, what's up? I was thinking about you the other day. Very nice. It has been a long time. We talked about it, I think it was Tuesday. I streamed for a little bit. And I think it's been like 7 years, roughly, since I streamed. Hopefully everything's working. There's so much crap to get functional here, and I'm turning into an old man. But anybody that's here again from the other night, hopefully things will be a little bit better. But yeah, what's up, Vince? NLTMW, what's up? No more orange bench. No, it got turned purple the other day. Prusa doesn't make RC cars, so it had to go. Purple's always been my favorite anyway. Worked out some of the issues from the other day. The lighting should be a little bit better. I haven't adjusted that. These are a little bright. Lighting should be a little bit better. I still don't have a good way to manage this camera, which is a little annoying. Seeing as I bought two different articulating arm things, and they are both terrible, to the point of being unusable. I also got some different gloves, since I hated the ones that we had last time. Hopefully these are a little bit better. It's funny I'm putting gloves on. I paint all over my hands from painting today. I don't know what the point of protecting them is. But yeah, tonight, it should be in the title. We have a Jato 3.3 that's older. I actually don't know when it's from. I would imagine it's probably at least 10 years old. Though I haven't looked at all. I don't know when they started putting the 3.3s in the Jatos. But this is our project today. The only thing I've done to this so far is I scrubbed it down with some cleaner and hosed it off. We definitely have some rust. There's a little bit of damage in a couple places. Looks like there's some ghetto hot glue repairs over here in the center. And then I did pull the engine out, and I tore it down. That was before I had any anticipation of streaming or anything. So the engine looks clean. It has compression. Yeah, if you can hear that. Has compression. Hopefully it's okay. It looks okay. The starter works. I did try that out. The easy start motor works. The carb was absolutely destroyed, so it doesn't have a carb at the moment. But that looks good, so hopefully the engine's good. Body's pretty rough, but nobody cares about that. I don't really have a plan for tonight. Some of these things are already partially disassembled. That's where this camera would really come in handy if I had a way to move that around. We have the pipe off. Pipe's in pretty good shape. Because the goal obviously I want to get this running sort of for my own entertainment, but the goal ultimately is to get this in good working condition and sell it. Because I don't really want a Jato. They are cool and I'll have fun driving it around, but I don't need a Jato. The way I acquired this we can probably throw away. The way I acquired this was for a very good price. I got this Jato 3.3, the T-Max that's back here, and then a Savage 4.6 that's below the bench back there. And I got them all like as a package deal, got a really good price. So I figured probably at least the Jato will sell, which will probably recoup half of the cost of the other two. And I think the Savage that I bought is easily worth what I paid for all of them. So that's the goal. I'm just going through and getting the parts here that we already have off. Some of these things, let me try to get this freaking camera up here. It is triggering me pretty bad that we're not being able to use this. So let me grab this other arm and see if we can use it at least a little bit. It seems wasteful to have nothing here. Because obviously I'd like to interact with you guys. And I bought a second camera, so it'd be nice to use it. So let's get, so this arm, it looked fine, the little diagrams they had, but the thing is the mount here that you can't see, the mount doesn't move at all, it's just a post sticking out, and this piece goes into that, so it is a minimum 12 inches off the table, which I guess is fine. But then I don't really see the utility in, I guess that's something, especially for this like larger teardown. Audio's a little overdriven. Okay, well thank you for that. We will try to adjust that. It looks good on the receiver. Maybe it's just, how's that sound? It'll take a second. There seems to be a delay. How does that sound? Because it's a good mic and stuff, but I really didn't mess with the settings at all, so would not be surprised if it's terrible. All right, so second camera, we're gonna set down there. Get this mount on here. The other mount I got is like a full-on, like flexible arm, which should have been perfect, but holy shit, it's like a workout device to bend this thing. Let me grab it here. And I got a short USB cable I gotta step over. But here's the second one, and it was supposed to be like this flexible arm thing, but holy shit, is that ever hard to flex. And it has this weird ball end on it, which it said it had a quarter 20, which I think is like standard. It said it had one of those, but still a little over, but better. It doesn't look like I'm clipping. Let's do a little clicky here. All right. There we are in the middle. Let's go to 0 dB in software. How does that sound? Oh, what's up, John? Got your first Nitro 3 weeks ago. It's a Jato. I never had a Jato. When I was when I was younger and into Nitro, they had the Nitro Rustler, I think was about it. It wasn't until later that they came out with the Jato. Because as a kid, I would have thought that these tires were freaking awesome. That sort of like aggressive tread pattern I would have thought was like the coolest thing as a kid. Some of these things, let me grab my mouse. and we'll kind of take a look at this together. If you're into RC, there's a place called Jenny's RC that they buy new cars and break them down and just sell the parts off. And I got a lot of these parts. Let's switch here. Hopefully this focuses. This is the throttle linkage. Actually, I think this is the brake linkage. It is all rusted to shit and is in terrible condition. So we are just going to toss this whole thing. That we're not going to use. This I'm going to try. This is the little arm that mounts, that holds the exhaust in place. And as you can see, it is rusted, but I can't really find an easy way to replace this without buying a new muffler. So we're going to keep this and try to polish it to make it not look so bad. What else we got in here? That's just the protective ring for the motor heatsink. That's the little carb arm. We got to keep that. These are the weird little blocks to mount the engine to the chassis. Keep those. The spring is in surprisingly good condition. We'll keep that. I think that's the throttle return. This is the actual throttle linkage. I'm going to set that over here to keep, but I think I have a replacement. We're just going to replace that. And then screws to mount the engine. Obviously keep those. The little C-clip for the clutch bell. There's a spacer for the clutch bell that I lost, but I already have some other ones, so that's not a problem. So where we are currently, so that's pretty stripped. We've got the fuel tank out. I have a lot of this stuff. I already broke my carb, and my engine comes in tomorrow. Had a wicked pinch and sent at the tracks. Oh, they just sent you a new 3.3. That's awesome. I actually have a some other recent purchases. Like all the Nitros, with the exception of one that's over in the other room in the box still. All the Nitros I currently own, I bought used. The first ones, the ones that got me in it, were about a month ago, I guess. I lucked out and found somebody on Facebook that had a pair of Nitro Revos. And I did the Traxxas program where if you turn your engine in, they give you like a 50% credit to get a new one. So this has a brand new 3.3 in it that's broken in, but I haven't actually driven it yet. But I did follow the guide, did the heat cycling and stuff. Isn't that a Jato? Yeah, that's what this is. This is a Jato. And like I said, the goal is to fix this thing up and actually sell it. That's huge. I guess I'm jaded for size. The Revo is big. The Revo is big, but I guess I have so many big RCs now that yeah, it is big. I'll give you that. I think this one looks big. Here's the other Revo, and it has these like comically large tires on it that make it just look like freaking massive. This one is basically ready to sell. Since I got a pair of them, I'm probably going to sell this one. This one's in good shape, runs good. It's got these big stupid tires on it, but runs good. The carb needs tweaked like a tiny little bit, but runs pretty good as is. Needs a little TLC, but not a whole lot. Any tips on break-in? So, I am an amateur. Keep that in mind. The new 3.3, so if you're getting into Nitro and you don't know who, I don't know how to find him here. Hybrid, like look up Hybrid Nitro, the Nitro gang. Watch some of his videos. He has really good videos. But what I did was called heat cycling. Get it running, get a nice steady idle. Watch some videos on like how to actually tweak your needle settings. When I first started, I was just kind of doing shit and trying to figure it out. Watch a video, take you 10 minutes. It'll make a world of difference. You'll kind of like learn what signs indicate that you need to do certain things. Run a tank of fuel through it, just let it sit and idle the whole way through that tank, then let the engine cool. Let it idle through another tank, let the engine cool. I did that 3 times, which is basically broken in, but now I'll do like the normal, like I'll do like a half a tank of just like kind of doing circles and stuff at like half throttle or less. But that seems to be like a really safe approach. Like doing the initial heat cycling ensures that you're not going to do anything crazy to the engine. You're not going to scar the sleeve or anything insane. But anyway, the Jato. I will go over some of the parts that we have. I think I'm already missing some of them that I know I have that I don't see here. But Jenny's RC, I think it was a total of like maybe $70 to get everything that I currently have. Like this, brand new fuel tank with the lines and stuff on it. This is directly pulled off of a new Jato. Fits in perfect. I don't have to worry about the filter in it being kind of gunked up, or tubes or fittings or the O-ring on the thing. It's like $7 for a fuel tank. So we got that. That'll be one of the last things to go in here, but fuel tank. This plastic thing, we have this like assembly in the middle. There's like this whole like plastic frame here that's on top of the aluminum chassis. I have that somewhere. Let me try to find that quick without pulling my webcam down. I have that whole assembly somewhere. I think that's in this box. This was from a different guy on eBay that does a very similar thing. And it was just a matter of like looking on Jenny's and a couple of the guys that do this on eBay and just finding the best combination of price and shipping and all that stuff. If you're getting in the Nitro, one thing I very, very strongly recommend getting is an engine heater. I think these are like $35 and oh my God, what a difference. You go from like cranking on that thing to like let the heater on it for 5 minutes, especially when it's cold out, starts right up. Amazing. Runs off of like a little 3S pack. Changed my life. But anyway, yeah, here's these things. So like here's that entire central assembly that I'd like to try to get on tonight. I guess that's a decent goal. New wires for the Easy Start, because these are like all in terrible condition. They're all scraped up and exposed wire. Got that. New drive shafts. Again, I think a pair of these complete drive shafts, they came in a lunch, like a Ziploc bag. I think it was like $7. And yeah, replacement wires for the Easy Start. Easy. Oh, and here's the little like heat protectors for the fuel tubing that wraps back around the engine block. All right, so let's get into this. So there's really not any real rhyme or reason to this. We're just going to start tearing it down and try not to lose anything. This does come off with a pair of screws here, but we're going to leave that on. I'm going to get the antenna out of the way here. I'm excited. I feel a little bad because my son has convinced himself that that we're gonna keep this. He thinks it's gonna be like the coolest thing ever, but he has only ever done like bashing with RCs, like driving them for fun and beating the shit out of them. So I don't think he realizes that he's not really gonna have that much fun with like a fast 2-wheel drive car that doesn't just like haul ass in our yard, like in the grass. This is a slightly more refined car than a... You'll buy it, John? Which one's that? The Revo? They're sweet. Just a little bit that I drove them. The Revos are pretty sweet. Because they're one of those chassis that's kind of like the best of both worlds. Oh, the Jato, yeah. If you like fast cars, Jatos are sweet. Let me grab a knife here. Because we've already encountered our first rusty hex head that does not want to come out. I really do not want to strip these out. And it looks like that one's stripping out. Well, we didn't get too far before we encountered our first problem, eh? Let's get the servo out. I know my hands are in the way here. It's kind of annoying. I don't know what the best technique for this camera is. We've got some kinks to work out. After a couple streams, we'll sort it out, but I got new servos for this. These old servos are terrible. They are slow and weak, which is a bad combination for a servo. All the old Nitros, like the old T-Max, the servos are so bad compared to modern ones. Love Nitro. It's tough. Electric is better in basically every conceivable way, but I don't have as much fun driving electric. All right, so that should have the servo come out. This has, I mentioned it earlier, this has like a hot glue repair. Like there's hot glue all over this. I guess they snapped this piece and just kind of like hot glued it all together. And it looks like it's kind of gunking the servo in there. You can see this plastic is just all deteriorated. Like these pieces are just broken off without really touching them at all. Servo is loose, it's still connected. I have not looked at this receiver yet. Oh my god, look how big that thing is. This is an old AM radio system. Like I think it's, I guess it's this TQ, this old TQ radio. Is ancient, has a like actual AM radio crystal in it. You have to back in the day you had to buy these in pairs and make sure your radio crystals were like the same frequency. That's how you actually paired your radio to your receiver. There was no binding. I knew nothing how to unlock the stuck flywheel. Well, it's hard to tell when a nitro engine is new. The engine can be really tight. That's why you have to do the break-in. Because the piston and the sleeve that they have, the fit is very, very tight. This looks like a hop-up part right here, this little antenna mount. It's blue anodized aluminum. I'm scratching it, I think. Because it's so damn tight. Yeah, it's so tight, good God. Hey, what's up, Joel? Yeah, I'm back. In a way. In a way, I never left. I've always been in my basement. You guys just couldn't see it. This thing, I don't know if I should keep this thing or not. I don't know what the hell to do with it. I don't know, anybody want to buy an old Traxxas AM radio system? Spur gear and clutch bell for top speed. That varies so much by car that I don't know. Like with this Jato, I have no idea. I don't know what the I don't know what a factory one is versus what this one is. It doesn't have any markings on it. And it looks like it's worn. Both of these cars, the T-Max and the Jato, it looked like they had a pretty shitty gear mesh, which can be really, really tough on your gears. Because some people would just, you know, not set things up right and then run it a bunch. And it's really, really hard on stuff. All right, let's try to get these wires out. They're just all fished through the chassis. I guess one thing, we could take the tires off of this, make it a little bit easier to get around it. But I have new radios for these. Because in the modern day, we're kind of spoiled for choice with inexpensive radios that are really good. So actually I have a couple different ones. A 24 and a 54. It's tough. I mean, obviously forums and Facebook groups are always a good place to start if you don't really have opinions yourself about how it's running. With electrics, see, again, because I'm new to Nitro, I don't really know. With electrics, you can kind of like look at performance, monitor your temperatures, and kind of see, like, if you wish it was faster and your motor's not getting like super hot, you could always, like, you know, get a higher ratio without really causing any issues. I personally don't know what metrics you really use with nitros. To determine what changes to make. I do know one thing I've learned the hard way is you got to be a little careful. All right, so they're fished out. There's this borderline antique servo out of the way. Oh, my phone. My phone is struggling because I turned my Wi-Fi off. Oh, that's why it's having trouble. It's the terrible service in my basement. Look like an expert. Well, I have a lot of experience with electric cars, but nitros I am a complete noob with. And if you're ever here for 3D printing and stuff, like, I'm definitely a very hands-on dude, so I have no fears of tearing things apart and seeing how they work. All right, so we're obviously going to have a couple screws underneath holding this to the chassis, but we're going to try to get the stuff off the top first. And we're going to try our best to not strip these out. I really like that smash button. Yeah, I hate that you kind of have to do that, like, normal YouTube stuff. Oh man, I really think that one did strip out. That's kind of tragic. I don't see. There's two little screws from something. I don't see what's actually holding this to the chassis on top now. So I think it's just screws underneath. And this freaking one right here. That super brown one. Looks like it's stripped out, and I don't really have any tools here to cope with that. Underneath here, looks like we've got a bunch of guys holding this in. This is definitely one. And looking at I mentioned like Jenny's RC and stuff like that. Some pieces kind of blow your mind. Like I think the complete aluminum chassis for this bottom plate, is like $7 if you need to replace it. Just ordered new tires. New tires are cool. I like ordering new tires. I think I just ordered 3 sets of new tires last night. Which I need to get tires for this because these are old, like, they're all dried out and hard. But I got new tires for the T-Max and a new factory set for that Revo. Yeah, ordering tires is fun. It's more fun than it should be because tires are freaking expensive. I think these screws are to this side plate, which we don't really need to take off. We're going to take off anyway and get it clean. I actually do have an electric wrench right over here. I'm just in the habit of doing it this way. And this, because I'm afraid of screws stripping out, I'm probably going to do almost all of these by hand. If this was a newer car, I would absolutely just use a motorized one. But yeah, I agree. Electric is sweet. Plus, if you do it all by hand, you get these super manly, veiny forearms, right? Everybody thinks that's cool. All right, we almost got these off. It looks like there's only 2 more holding that centerpiece in. I said we didn't actually need to take those sides off, but it'll be easier. You can see too that whoever had this did a lot of upgrades. This has aluminum arms and like all of the components in the front, like the steering and stuff. It's all aluminum. So somebody spent some money on this whenever they had it. That's why I was like pretty pumped to get. I think it was like $325 for this, the T-Max, and the Savage, and I think the Savage is worth the $300 itself. Yeah, so I was pretty pumped. My wife was less excited because I think it was like 4 days before that I bought the Revos and then showed up with a couple more. And you can see behind me, there's a small fraction of the total cars that we have behind me. All right, I'm trying my damnedest to keep these screws organized, but I can already see that's going to be easier said than done. All right, yeah, I think hopefully this guy doesn't ruin us. This new Jato already spent $1,200. Holy shit! I just bought a. I showed it last time on stream. It's in a huge box. A Savage XL 5.9. I just bought one of those. It was like $700. I thought that was expensive. I thought the X-Max was expensive at $1,000. Oh, guys, I don't know what to do about this. This little rusty guy. I thought if we just cleaned it out, it might be okay. Let me try to clean it out a little bit more. Maybe we can get a little deeper in there. Yeah, it's easy to go absolutely crazy with upgrades. It's something I like. Oh, can we get it? Come on. Oh, it would be so nice if this just went and broke loose. We'd be golden. It's so close. Ah, I can feel it. I can feel it. It's not going to come. If I had all my stuff at my house, we could just Dremel this. I don't want to drill it. Breaking that piece doesn't really help. I guess we could just cut this because we do have this piece to replace. We could cut it, but that doesn't really help us get it out. Trying to see. I think we're free other than that. The whole rest of this is free. It is just that holding us down. I guess we can just cut it for the time being. To get this out of the way so we can look at other stuff. Since this will be the first time I actually get to look at the chassis. This thing looks like a pain in the ass to work on. Which this, any of you guys that have Traxxas cars, this would not be the first Traxxas I've ever owned that was a pain in the ass to work on. All right, so there's that. Another, it's funny, it's a different, I guess that's a slightly stronger servo for the steering. We're gonna keep the servo horn. But the rest of this we're going to chuck. I won't even take that servo out. Because again, I have like really cheap new factory takeoff servos from a newer Revo that are fine, significantly better than this. I'm actually going to just throw this away, I think. I'm just going to throw that whole thing away. Though it looks like that steering servo is a 2055. I think that's what these might be. The two that I have to put in here. Yeah, they are. They're brand new 2055s. It's the same as the one we just took out. All right. So we're going to throw this away. We don't need any of this. I'm pretty sure, because this one, it lucked out. The one that I got even has the power switch on it. I'm pretty sure. We'll take a look at it. Make sure we're not making a catastrophic mistake. Oh, that wasn't an upgrade part. This has a blue anodized little antenna thing on it too. All right, so this one, oh, that's so good. It even has the clips and covers too, so we can go ahead and throw these rusty clips and covers away. We don't need any of that. Excellent. Excellent. We don't need any of this because we do have the easy start wires to put in the new one. We don't need the servo horn. I don't actually need these screws because I also bought I think this is it. You can buy the entire, like this is the entire screw set for a Jato. And I bought, I think these were like $12. So yeah, I think we're done with this. In the trash she goes. All right, so we get a look at the chassis here. I never really took a look to see if it's straight. Does it look straight? I guess it doesn't look like anything to you guys. That angle's terrible. Looks straight. Guess you'd have to do something really dumb to bend the chassis on a Jato. Normally that comes from jumping and stuff. So we're going to grab a rag and a little bit of cleaner and wipe this guy down. I wish I had a basin down here, like a sink and stuff. I'd go ahead and actually just hose this down. But this isn't bad. I think this will look really good. I think this will be fine cleaned up like this. About as straight as my uncle. I don't know your uncle. I can't determine that. I'll take your word for it. All right, that's some progress. This would crush my son to see this car in this state. The more I was taking off of it before, the more upset he was getting because he could see it. He could see it getting further and further from being able to run, which was making him sad. The diffs, I guess we should probably tear the transmission and diffs. We got a wobbly wheel here. Should tear down the transmission and diffs, but I kind of don't want to. They actually feel really good. And being as I just want to get this in a running state and make it look good. I think that feels fine. If this was my personal car, I'd probably tear it down. And I'm always like completely upfront, so anybody I sell this to, obviously they'll have access to these videos. But I'll be completely honest and just tell them that, like, hey, I did this, I didn't do this, but I'd recommend it. So if they want to crack the diffs open and check, I would probably recommend doing that. All right, let's take these tires off. I don't know how to tell if this is the hub or the wheel. I think it might actually be this wheel that's bent. Yeah, I think it's actually that wheel. Let's take the front off and stick that back here. Ugh. Kind of crazy if the wheel's bent. Again, I'm new to the Jato, so I don't know. Yeah, of course, this just has a bearing on the front. So we can't use that one. That was a fail. We need to take it off anyway, but let's grab the other side. These tires are ancient, so I wouldn't be surprised if the wheels are jacked up. I'll just get a new set. I kind of hope it's the wheel. I don't know, man. Might be the axle. Which again, that's fine. We have a new set. And I think, yeah, the axles we have clear down to the very tip. So if this is bent, that's actually kind of fine. I don't know. Why was it so wobbly? I don't know if it's... Is it both? Is it the wheel and the axle? It must be the wheel. It didn't look wobbly on the other side. I put the same tire on this side and it didn't look as wobbly. It's wobbly, but not as bad. That's weird. How do you remember where to put everything? Hey, shut up. How about that? You don't have to, see, that's for tomorrow me to worry about. Tonight me is the have fun, tear everything apart guy. That's the That's a problem for tomorrow. So this, I think I got a brake thing, because this whole part here, let's come down a little bit. This whole part here, this assembly with these two little calipers, I think I got all of this stuff. There's a little arm here. I think I have all of that, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to replace all of that. Because some of this we might actually get on now. I can't remember which is which. This is the T-Max stuff. I think this is the bag with those arms. I can't remember. Yeah, I think this is it. This is the little, I'm holding it off to the side, you can't see it, but I think this arm, this assembly is that. So we'll take a look at that. I really feel like I have that little arm there too somewhere. Because I remember seeing brake calipers. There is one. Oh, here it is. Okay. Yes. No. Yes. Yes, this is it. Okay, because I got. We'll open it up here. Yes, this is to that. Okay. Another thing, since you have a Jato, if you get on Jenny's and a couple of the guys that do these new car teardowns, this is the cheapest way I've seen to get clutch parts, because you can get like the flywheel, the clutch bell, and the clutch shoes themselves for basically as much as it costs for just the shoes from Traxxas. You lost me. We'll tear it apart. We'll stick it back together. It's not that confusing. It's not too bad. Yeah, there's another one. I think I bought two of these. Clutch bells and flywheels and stuff, just because they're basically the same price as buying like a clutch rebuild kit from Traxxas. And I don't know why I'll ever need the flywheel, but it's nice to have it if I need it. Also little things, I don't think I got them for the Jato, but for like the T-Max and stuff, new bumpers, these are like $6. And these are usually one of the things that gets completely destroyed on cars because people hit stuff. Let me see what else we got here. As you can see, all the linkages on this are in absolutely terrible condition. They're all rusted to hell. We are not going to salvage any of that. We are going to take these off and just replace all of them because, again, these are super cheap. But right now we're going to do this brake, because I think I have all the pieces to that. I just want to make sure. I'm trying to think of what we want to do next. I don't have a plan, but we should have some kind of plan. I guess we can open this bag, because I think this has the slipper clutch and stuff in, which we're going to go ahead and replace. And we can just take this off. Because some of these things, I don't know how much this differs from like a current Jato. Well, that slipper is super loose. Take the rusty parts off. Yeah, that's the plan. I don't know what the best way to get this slipper off. To keep that from rotating. Is that coming off? I can't tell. I don't think it is. Man, it's been so long since I've torn any of this apart. I can't tell you the last car I had that had a slipper clutch. Since everything's four-wheel drive nowadays, like most things just have like a center differential. I think the last car that I owned that had one of these was probably the original Rustler I had. And it would probably benefit all of us if I did a little bit of research before I tore this apart. But who does dumb stuff like that? This spur looks fine, has a little bit of wear on it. We're going to go ahead and replace it just because we have one. It looks like they're the same size. Look like they're both 54 teeth. And this, I don't actually know how to get this off. I feel like normally you'd have a little part of this exposed that you could put like a wrench through it to keep it from turning. But I don't see how to do that. Confused. Confusion. I might actually have to look this up. Admit defeat. How to remove a slipper. You guys aren't helping. Hold it, I guess. I know, but it's like, it's spinning. I know you can't really see it here, but it's spinning behind the part that I can hold, which makes it difficult. I mean, it's kind of the whole point of the slipper clutch. Is that if the drivetrain can't move, the slipper clutch just slips. I don't want to damage anything. I think I'm gonna keep turning, dude. It should have screwed off like 10 turns ago. I guess we're gonna admit defeat here, and I'm gonna try to look this up. Luckily, I have a computer right here, and we'll try to look up like how to remove Jato slipper clutch. I like that the first result was unsightly back hair. Oh, see, this is... See, that was for the slash. Damn it. That's the clutch bell. I don't know. I don't know. This is making me feel dumb. I'm not a dumb guy, but I'm feeling dumb right now. Because it clearly has a one-way bearing in there, it feels like. Oh, well, we'll move on. Let's do something else. Let's get these linkages off. Moving on, because I'm not going to be on here all night. Spur gear, my friend. I know, but we need to get this slipper off because we have all the components to just replace this slipper clutch because it looks like those pads are worn. See, we have like a brand new slipper assembly and everything. Brand new spur. Like literally everything for the slipper we have the stuff to replace. So I want to get that off of there. We have like the back plate. This is the brake pad. We're going to replace that here in a second. New shoes for the brake, spring for the slipper. We got all the pieces, everything brand new. We just do not have the ability to remove this. But we'll come back to that. Maybe I'll do some research. For the time being, let's get some of the rust off of this, which we can do by removing these. And we can go ahead and do the drive lines. I guess I should take these aluminum arms off. We could polish them up. I'm fickle. I want to get things back together and see progress. I'm impatient. All right, rusty arm off, which gives us access to the axle. These usually, if you ever have to take these little nuts off, it usually just takes a little bit of pressure. Yeah, tiny little bit of pressure gets them off. And then there's a pin behind there. Pin slides out, and then the axle will come out. Oh, I didn't think about it. I should probably replace these bearings too. Might just clean them and hope for the best. There it is. Get this axle off. Some of these, this is exploratory for me. I don't know if this is a grub or a pin that's holding this in back here. Looks like it's a pin. Yeah. It's not just a grub screw. That's a pin that actually goes in through the output shaft, which makes sense. So there, axle off. And you see, that's just all completely dry rotted, falling to pieces. Take that off. This actually doesn't look too bad. I was going to buy replacement shocks for these because they're cheap, but shocks actually feel fine, and I want to avoid rebuilding them if I can. It actually feels fine. So we're going to leave them be. This stuff, it would be nice to polish this. I guess I could leave this off. These aluminum parts are cool. They're just dirty. Just get like a little Dremel buffing pad and clean these all up would probably be worth doing. And these bearings, I'll have to look. I'll have to see how much it costs to replace these. Oh, they do feel a little gritty. Oh no. Sometimes bearings aren't cheap. I should get a little notepad and make a list. So we kind of need axle bearings. This stuff all looks fine. Shocks feel fine. Shock towers look fine. They don't look like they're warped or cracked or anything. Go ahead and take the rusty crap off of this side. And I can't, somebody asked me about where stuff goes. I am kind of like keeping things sort of organized down here. So it shouldn't be too bad. Most of the time it's obvious where things go. Sometimes not, but most of the times it is. Like these are all the same length. Pretty obvious that they go into these arms here. So there's that off. But it's like this, these little, the wheel hexes and the pins that go through, I'm keeping them together. We'll pop this guy off and we'll set him over with the other one. So John, you said you had gotten into Nitro. Did you do electric stuff before that, or is Nitro like your first RC stuff? Because that's kind of weird if Nitro is your first RC stuff. That's usually not how things go. Especially since like 99% of the videos you see about RC anymore are electrics, just because they're so good. They're fast, they're easy, they're quiet, they're clean. Like talking to friends about Nitro cars, they always expect me to have like this great sales pitch for Nitro, and it's like, no, like electrics are great. They have an absolute boatload of power. They don't annoy people at the park, which is a problem I've run into already with Nitros. People get irritated that you make noise. It's funny, my kids can run around and scream at the top of their lungs for 2 hours at the park and nobody says a word. But I rev a Nitro too many times. Not okay. And for me personally, the sound of my kids is way more annoying than the sound of my my Nitro car. Obviously that'll differ person to person, but I think my cool little car sounds cooler than my kids screaming on the swing set. And again, we'll go ahead and take these bearings out. The funny thing about bearings is I have to do a little bit of research. Because I'm like, these hubs are obviously aftermarket, and they might not take the stock bearing size in these aftermarket hubs. Like a lot of times it'll be different. But yeah, I will polish these up. I won't put all this back together. We'll polish these arms and stuff back up so they look nice. Because they do look cool. Everybody likes aluminum. Aluminum looks cool. Remove a spur gear bolt on a Traxxas Jato. You need to loosen or remove the spur gear and clutch bell. We did that. Then apply pressure to the spur. I might have to put the spur back on. We'll have to take a look at that. Or maybe I just need to push harder while I'm trying to get that nut off. I just wanted to see how easy this gunk was going to come off this aluminum. Looks good, actually. The only place that's going to be a little bit of a chore is here in the front. I don't know if you can see that very well. Here in the front, anything that ever hits these arms is going to hit on the front here. And there is a little bit of like corrosion and stuff because the finish got hit a little bit. So polishing that up, I think, will make a big difference. It looks like these need shimmed a little bit. Not a big deal. Same with this one. Yeah, a car that goes fast should not be wiggling in the rear. So we'll have to shim them a little bit. All right, so you said loosen the nut on the slipper shaft. I think we did that. That's the thing I'm turning. I just can't get it to stop turning the rest of the assembly. Part of it is that the end, you can't see here. Part of it is that the end of this is worn a little bit, which is making the nut a little bit tight. Because it's easy to tighten, or easier. I can't even tighten it now. You can push the bearing out of the spur gear holding the pressure plate to the spur. I did that. Okay, so I did that. We took the spur off. I just can't get this damn nut off. Because I don't have a way to keep that inner shaft from turning. I wonder... Oh, I think I know. Okay, so there's a little rubber plug here. We have an access. This is what I was looking for. Right there. Yep, okay, that's it. Yep. We did it. Yeah, that nut is super rough on the end because it's rusted. Rusted a little bit there. All right, we did it. Excellent. This, I don't know if you ever be able to see down in there. This is a little access hole that gives you a spot where if you stick a wrench in there, you can keep the assembly from turning. That's what I was looking for. I just didn't think to look in that cover. Sweet, okay. Mission accomplished. Okay, wow, that's amazing. That's freaking progress because we can put that back together. Because we'll get this stuff off. Well, I think we will. How in the hell do you get this off? Right, so we have this part back in there. That looks tight on that shaft. Maybe it just needs a little persuasion. Oh yeah, here it comes, okay. No problem. And there's just a little pin back there on this shaft that holds that into place. Okay, so we're good. But you can see this slipper plate is all like warped and worn out and stuff, and we have a nice brand new one that's, I don't know if you can see that, almost twice as thick. So this has quite a bit of wear on it. Yeah, I think this other, that's why I didn't look in these. I think the other hole in the top here is for adjusting the shift point on the 2-speed. The two-speed baby, as they say. All right, so that's the old part. This is the old part. Again, this is all worn. So it'll be nice to have wherever it is here. Yeah, nice fresh one. Nice new parts. Pads are definitely thicker. It's definitely had a couple runs on it. All right, and I'm going to replace this part simply because I have one. It doesn't need replaced, but I'm going to replace it since I have a new one. So we'll go ahead and replace this real quick. But it's nice to know. It's like all the cars that I have, like the electrics, I've watched teardowns and stuff of just to like know what's going on inside. Then when you inevitably have to do maintenance, it makes it a lot easier. Like I said, I'm just clunking my way through this because I'm not familiar with Jatos at all. It's kind of like a rustler, but also very, very different. All right, so that's the bottom screw for that. And this should just pull off. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Easy peasy. Oh, there's a good reason to pay attention. Those two screws hold that on, and they are different lengths. One of them is shorter than the other. Okay, this is the old part. I kind of want to take one of these bags and put new screws in this stuff since we have it apart. And I don't know if those are the Jato screws or the T-Max screws? Let me check this box over here. I actually don't know, and I don't want to be yanking screws out of that stuff for the T-Max, and then I'll be confused later when I can't find it. I might actually have to look at my order to see which of these I bought screws for. I might not have bought a screw set. But yeah, Jenny's, I will warn you to be careful on there, because I think I've put like 6 orders in from Jenny's in the last month. So we got the Revo linkages, clutch bells and bumpers. That was one. I don't think I bought screw sets for both of them. Web order confirmed. Oh, that might have been from eBay. I can't remember where I bought what from. Purchase history. That is a T-Max screw set, okay. The Jato screws are with the linkages. Okay. T-Max screws, Jato screws. So we should have everything we need in here. We'll leave the linkages in the bag. Oh, these are taped shut. I need to get some music on stream here. It is very quiet in here. All right. So we need 2 screws. That is one of them. And this, I'm going to guess, is the other one. Nope, that is too long. That is too short. This is a weird length one. That is the other. Now here's the question, which was the long one and which was the short one? I actually can't remember. I think the top was the long one. So we're going to get rid of these old screws. We will put them on the yucky pile. Oh man, it's like if you had to bet your life on which was which. I don't remember. Don't recall. That's the old part. So this is the new part. So this goes on here. I can't remember. Can you remember? Which was the long, which was the short? Just roll the dice. I think it was the long was on top, short was on bottom. What's the worst that would happen here? I have a feeling, yeah, I'm almost positive the long one's on top. And if anybody goes back and looks and I'm wrong, it was wrong from the factory. It should have been this way. But yeah, I'm almost positive the long one was on top. Because it looks like the little protrusion for the screw is shorter on the bottom. All right, so snug. One thing to know, screws into plastic, do not over tighten them. It'll make you sad if you strip one. All right, so that is on there. We've got the new back plate for the slipper. Line it up with the little pin. Perfect. And then luckily this has a new bearing on it, which is excellent because this old bearing felt like shit. Tons of extra screws. None of these are extra. We should, in theory, use all of these by the end, because every time we have a screw to put back, we're going to put a new screw on. All right, did that seat the whole way back? Doesn't look like it's far enough back. Nope, I guess it is. Lock this down. As soon as the appropriate spot comes around, there it is. Oh, there it goes. Okay, yeah, it wasn't back on the pin. Got our little plug. Little slipper plate. Back in place. Our spur and pads back in place. We do have a new spring, so we're going to put the new spring on. Get rid of the old one. New spring, doesn't look like it matters which way this goes. I'm going to put that bad boy on there. And we got a brand new vinyl locking nut to put on there as well. Not that the old one was coming off. That one was on there quite well. And then these slipper clutch, they can be a little tough to adjust. It's hard sometimes to know if you're slipping too much or not enough. Some people don't like them. You run the risk of damaging things if you disable the slipper. But a lot of cars, you can buy slipper eliminators that is just like a solid piece that bolts on there, and it'll be direct drive into the transmission, which if you're doing speed runs and stuff can be fine. But if you're driving it like a normal person, it's a risky thing to do potentially, because you can just like really put a lot of wear on your transmission for no reason. Okay, sweet. Nice new slipper and spur in place. That is official progress. All right, we don't want to tighten it down too much. It's a little snug, but we can mess with that later. Let me back that off a little bit. Let me back it off a little bit. More of a medium setting. All right, done. So now what? I guess if we're going to polish these arms, we should go ahead and take them off. Which means we might as well just go ahead and take these shocks off. What engine will you use? So I have I don't know if it's the original, but I have a Traxxas 3.3 on here that, like I said, I tore down already, and it felt good. You can see the clutch shoes are all worn to hell, but the engine itself feels good. It has compression. Feels like the one-way bearing. There's a one-way bearing in the Easy Start back here. Feels good. Everything looked good inside. Piston looked clean. I have a new glow plug for it, and we do have this, though I'm going to clean this off before it goes back on. So the engine looks good. But that we never really know 100% until we throw it on there. I'd like to put a new carb on it. So when I turned the other engine in, the carb was actually really good on it, so I kept the carburetor from that one. So I'm probably going to put that like newer carburetor on this one because the carburetor that was on there is completely destroyed. So yeah, let's take these shocks off. Because what time is it? It's like 11. We'll probably go to like 12. That's my plan, because I'm going to stream most evenings. Probably go from 10 to 12 most evenings. Just working on some of these projects. And then I actually have, because I have a bunch of cameras and stuff. I did photography and video work and stuff as a hobby. I'm actually going to record going out and doing some Nitro stuff as soon as the weather's better. Is the flywheel stuck? The flywheel is not stuck. Do you mean on the little, I forget what they call that. There's like that little angled sleeve thing behind it that can be hard as shit to get off? If you mean that, then no, because I have a little puller. There's a little thing with like hooks, and then you screw it and it pulls the flywheel off. Just like it's like a real car. There's like the exact same things for real cars. I think I can, is it in here? Yeah. No, it's not actually. It does not have that little piece in this flywheel kit. But in the flywheel, I don't know if you can see that, the flywheel, that inner part, the circle, is angled. Like that's not a straight hole through the flywheel, it's actually angled. And then there's a little like cone thing that the flywheel tightens down onto. I don't know if that's what you mean, because they can be super hard to get off. Because it kind of like wedges the flywheel down on the output shaft. And they can be incredibly hard to get off sometimes if you don't have a little puller. Which most people don't, because who has a little flywheel puller? All right, screw coming out of aluminum, nice and smooth. The other shock bolt, they are the same size, luckily. Like I said, I'll clean these up, but these shocks feel good. Good enough that I'm not going to rebuild them. They're nice and smooth. There's no like crazy rebound. They're not leaking at all. They just seem to be in good shape, so we're not going to rebuild them. We will take the other one off though. Because I guess my goals for tonight, we're going to try to get both these arms off. Almost cried with no tools. Mine had a pinch and the motor would not turn over. Did you buy the Jato new? Was it a brand new engine? Because like I said, they can be very tight. Because if you get one that's really tight, you can take the head off and put some lubricant down in it. You'll see guys do that. Take the top off, put some lube down in there, and let it sit overnight. And sometimes it's enough to break it loose, so where you can actually like turn it and get the piston moving. Yeah, again, this is dirty. It's got dirt on it, but that's not rust. That is just dirt. That'll come off. We can clean them up nice. And they feel good. Feel smooth. Not leaking fluid. I guess here's one question. If they feel the same, that would be one reason to rebuild them. Yeah, they feel about the same. Sweet. Good shocks. Jatos obviously have sway bars, so we'll pull them off. This will give you an idea about how old this thing is. That is a Phillips. That is a Phillips screw on there. That is something you don't run into too much on modern cars. Freaking Phillips screwdriver. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just odd. All right, we'll get this guy off. Really try not to strip this, because it's way easier to strip a Phillips than a hex. And get the other one. Did all the recommendations and the motor never turned over? Yeah, it's possible you just had really bad luck. That unfortunately does happen. It's why it's nice to deal with a company like Traxxas that has a good warranty program. Because sometimes shit just happens. And it can be kind of annoying to go on the internet and kind of share your experiences with people. Because it turns out there are no number of fanboys that have good experiences that make you not have a good experience. Or make your bad experience not bad. Get this box off of here, it is in the way. Yeah, Nitro can be tough. I didn't know if you said earlier, like, is Nitro your first RC venture, or do you have electric cars? My intuition is that you don't have electric cars if you're hesitant to work on things. Though you don't have to work on electric cars as much as Nitros. Old nasty battery pack with what looks like energizers from 10 years ago. Oh, they're not that old. They expired in 2016. But this is actually broken. This little battery pack is actually broken. So we're actually just going to throw this whole thing away. I don't know if I got... I think I didn't get a replacement for this little compartment back here because this one's actually in good shape. But maybe I should just to get a new battery pack. Though I would recommend not using double A's in your receiver pack. Because they're just double A batteries, sort of compressed in that little thing, it is always a potential problem. If you hit something and it jars that pack and one of the batteries pops out, you are going to lose your connection to the RC, and you can have a runaway or something potentially, which is like worst case scenario with a Nitro. Get your new engine. Well, that's sweet. New engines are exciting. My wife doesn't know why I was excited to sit and watch a car just idle through 3 tanks of fuel, but yeah, I was having a nice time. It was exciting. Brand new engine, and it's kind of like having a kid versus adopting one. When you break an engine in yourself, you know exactly what happened to that. Like, you know exactly how it was broken in, which is nice. It's what always worries me about buying used Nitros. That's why the first thing I did was, the absolute first thing was tearing the engine apart. But yeah, the little power pack, I would recommend just getting a little LiPo. What it would be, 6 volts, so it's like a 2S LiPo. This is a little stiff. My camera angle's bad, I'm sorry. So we have our sway bar here. It looks like the person that had this, the sway bar tightens down with two little screws here. It looks like they had the sway bar a little too tight, which kind of defeats the purpose. This should be able to move pretty freely, because you want, basically you want movement from one A-arm to transfer over to the other. But kind of a moot point right now. We're going to take this bad boy off anyway, just to be able to clean it up. And if we can get it out of here, I'll taking the screws the whole way out. Looks like no. I have another little pile of screws. Cost is $220 plus for a power pack. Sits right in the box in front of the motor, flush. You mean just like a battery, like a 2S little 2S LiPo? They should be cheap, right? I feel like you can get like a little 2S LiPo for like 20 bucks. All right, so I have the screws out of this. It looks like there's a screw coming in this way, which is real dumb. Why can't I take this battery pack off? Because I need to get the hinge pins out. Do I gotta take this whole back assembly off? I think we have to take the whole back off to get that freaking battery pack off. I think we need to take... Yeah, my camera skills are amazing. I think we need to take this entire rear assembly off. And there is wiggle. And I think some of this wiggle, I don't know how close I can get here, and some of this wiggle is lateral, which we can shim. But some of it, I think we might actually need to replace this blue part back here that's capturing these hinge pins, because it looks like there's a little bit of wiggle in that, and we cannot shim that out. Oh, the 3.3? Cost that much. The TRX. So they replaced it for free, right? You didn't have to buy a new one. You didn't have to buy a new one, did you? Check inside of this. I did check inside. There's a screw. There's a screw. This one right here is coming from over here. There's no other screws inside. I took there's two screws in here. I took those out, but that is not all that's holding this. There's another screw in the center there that is coming from the inside. It's not bad to take this apart anyway. We can take this apart anyway. That's not a big deal. Because we need to, we don't need to, but it doesn't hurt to take a look at how this is together. Like I said, I'm fine spending some time learning about the Jato. What about the rest of you? Who else is in here? They replaced it. Yeah, I mean they should have. If you got a new car that had problems with the engine, they absolutely should replace it. No questions asked. Because that is a good way to lose a customer if they buy a new engine or a new car from you and has engine problems out of the box. All right, so there's those. I was thinking these might have been something else, but see it there? And all of these, we'll also go through this screw pack. We're still not free. We're still not free. How are we not free? What else is holding this to the chassis? Oh, the motor mount. Okay. Looks like we got to take these out too. Ooh, they're tight. Let's switch back here, since my hands are all in the way. Yeah, I can't with the UI I have on my phone. I can't really see who else is here. I can't see names, but I know there's a couple other people here. What are the rest of you guys up to? Any other fellow Nitro RCers in the room? Oh, that's tight. Ugh. There, she's coming loose. Some of it's, don't confuse confidence with experience. Because I will tear anything apart. I don't give a shit. I am not afraid to tear stuff apart. Let's get this tire off here. This is making this piece heavy. Ugh. According to looks, are you saying I'm old? Is that what it is? He just saying I look like an old man. I'm not old. I'm just older than I used to be. What is this? Bearing spacer. Ghillie shooter. Being an old man playing Rocket League. I've never played Rocket League. I've played a lot of games, but I've never played Rocket League. I've definitely watched it played, but I've never played. My go-to lately has been Heroes of the Storm. I know that's not the most exciting game ever. What the actual... I don't know what YouTube policies are, but what the actual fuck? What the fuck? Is this assembled wrong? I'm never going to be able to get you guys to see this. That screw is on the inside of this differential housing. What the actual shit? How do you get to that without disassembling the entire differential? What the shit? Why would that be that way? That's like rage-inducing. Let me try to get an angle here. That screw, oh, yep, you can see the light glinting off of it. That right there, inside, is the head of that screw that is holding this on. Why? Why would you do that? Again, I cannot get to it. I won't even try. I can't get to it because this the rear differential's in the way. What the actual shit? Dude, that's so much to tear apart. And I need to get this effing thing off, I think, to get these arms off. There's two bolts here. Maybe we'll get lucky and this will come off and we can slide these pins out this way. Yeah, why in the hell? Oh, I know. I'm hoping, John, that we'll be able to get it off with just these. But what in the actual shit? That means we cannot take this box off. Like if we'd want to take that off, we cannot take this off without getting that bolt out that's inside the differential. Hopefully we get the arms off with these two. Yeah. I'm getting the 2 bolts. Yeah, so we'll be able to get the arms off. But that's still like, why would that be that way? Because that still means that if we want to replace this that holds these hinge pins, I can't get this out without taking that box off. I can't get this blue part out. Right? There's no way. No, that bolt goes through that. So I can't replace this piece without disassembling this entire rear assembly. I guess that makes us do some soul searching about whether it's worth replacing this rear part. I don't know how well it translates on camera, but it looks to me like these holes are elongated this way a little bit, and that's where that wiggle's coming from. And like I said, we can't shim that. But yeah, the sad reality is there is a screw inside here that I can't get to that goes from here out to there. Why? Because I think you could just put it in this way, couldn't you? Could you just go that direction? I'm confused. And I really do think they're elongated a little bit. You can kind of, like, obviously I have a better view than you guys do, but you can kind of see on this. I don't know if I can get the light to hit that right. See, I can see it the way the light's reflecting off the surface of this, that the aluminum is like deformed a little bit. Not the silver part, I'm not saying like where the wear is, but it's flared a little bit. There you can kind of see it. See how the light's like hitting right at the edge of the hole where it's flared? Like there was stress, like lateral stress on that hole that stretched it out. Because I'm pretty sure if we take these hinge pins, yeah, they're wiggly. I mean, it might be okay. I have a feeling I'm not going to tear this down and replace that, but holy shit, why would you do it that way? The new ones are simplified. See, if it wasn't so expensive, I'd just buy a new whole transmission, but I think this transmission's like 75 bucks, even if you get it on Jenny's. Let me actually look at that real quick. I can't do screen share. So Jenny's RC, on road, we'll go to gas, Jato 3.3, transmission and gearbox. They're only $39. Well, it's transmission. It's not the differential. It's just the gearbox. It's actually just the housing. Interesting. Yeah, it's just this housing. And that I'd kind of be afraid to buy just the housing because it's possible that the rest of it is not the same. Let's see. I keep moving my mouse. Let's see if we get lucky. Go to the camera here again. Let's see if we get lucky. There's 2 screws here, and it looks like this might pull the rear of the housing off. And we might get lucky, and that gives us access to that bolt. Maybe it's not as bad as I'm thinking. Maybe I'm overreacting. Is it coming off? Is it going to come off? Is it a bolt in the blue holes? Oh, we're lucky. We're lucky. Look, the whole rear of the housing is coming off. Okay. Crisis averted. But yeah, look at that little MFer right there. Why? Why is there a bolt there? Explain this to me. Well, at least we got access to it. But there, now we can get that blue piece off. I'm going to leave this disassembled. I don't think we're going to get this back together tonight. Now that I've gotten to see inside this a little bit, we'll I'll do a little bit of research and see if we can get just this piece. Because I really would like to replace this. I think it'll make the whole rear end tighter. But I don't know how this piece compares to like the newer generations. Because like I said, I definitely feel like these holes are... That's a lot of slop. These should fit not tight, but that should not have that much play in it. Yeah, like I said, like if I push that to the side, I mean, the fact that you can see the gap on the side there in this camera means that gap is too big. Run it the other way. Maybe there's a reason that it's the way it is, but yeah, I don't know why you couldn't just put it in this direction and put it into that housing the other way. That seems crazy. Admittedly, not as bad to get off as I was making it seem like it would be, but still. You have to see if we can just get this. I imagine you can. Though I've imagined things before that weren't possible. I wish I had screen share. I'm just like looking on Jenny's and seeing what like kit that piece would be part of. Okay, so it looks like, I wish I could screen share. It looks like, let me see if I can do this. Hopefully this doesn't crash our software. So I'm going to make a new scene. With a display capture? Yeah, that's not the right one. There we go. So here, it looks like that is part of this. You can see right there. It looks like we can get hinge pins and everything. We don't give a shit about all the hardware. We don't care about any of that stuff. But it'd be like 15 bucks to get new hinge pins and the hinge pin captures, which doesn't seem that bad. It's probably worth 15 bucks. That means I have to order it and let this sit torn apart. I guess that does give me time to polish all of this stuff. I'm trying to think what the hinge pins went into on the other side. This piece. I guess some of it depends, because we would not be replacing this piece. I don't know what that comes in. Because if it's super loose in here, oh no, they fit nice in there. Okay, so that means probably is worth replacing. because we'd have this piece that feels nice on this side and then the blue aluminum on this side and replace them. And we can also take a look at the front really quick, because that would also give us the blue block up here. Though the front feels great. I don't think any of this is worth replacing. There is no wiggle in that at all. Like, I'm trying to flex that. No wiggle. Fits great. Feels good. Feels lovely. Moves smooth. Feels nice. This shock needs fluid. You can hear it. You guys can hear that? This side's just missing a screw. All right. Well, I really need like a tray to organize all this stuff, because I want to work on other things while I'm waiting for these parts to come. I guess I can sort of just organize things here now and then clean it up. The fuel tank we don't need anything from, so we're going to chuck that. Drive shafts we don't need any part of. Rusty linkages we don't need. Throw them away. The old slipper clutch, don't think it's worth keeping any of this. So we're going to chuck all that. I guess a goal for tonight would be to get the rest of the shocks and arms off, and then do a little bit of organizing here. So we have the rear hinge pin from that one. Because one thing I can do, we can go through and get all this stuff cleaned up. I'll probably polish these hinge pins. Well, we're going to get new ones. We're going to get new ones, actually. We don't even need the old ones. Polish all the aluminum stuff up, because this stuff all looks good. All looks good. And the hinge pins fit fine in the aluminum parts here. Like the fit there, very nice. No play. It's a little gritty because it's got dirt in it, but we'll clean all that out. Get the aluminum parts cleaned up. It looks like there was a spot for some droop screws in here that they weren't using, so we'll find some hardware for that. Because this chassis does have the little fins to use droop screws, which you can adjust the ride height. We'll set our arms there. I'll make a point to order that tonight. That's not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad. And get a bunch of screws that I don't need, a bunch of little tools that I don't need, but I guess for the hinge pins, I just always try to remind myself, like, if I bought it from Traxxas, I guarantee you, like, just the hinge pin set would probably be like $12.99, $15.99, and we're gonna get all that stuff, a couple little pins, a couple lock nuts. So we'll go ahead and do that. All right, so we got the rear end. I'm going to go ahead and stick, I'm going to go ahead and drop the differential. This feels good. Differential feels good. I said that before. All the gears look fine in here. Doesn't appear to be any worrisome wear. Everything looks good. Looks pretty clean. Oh, I caught it. I was waiting for that to hit the floor. We'll check the bearings. Bearings on this feel good. Nice and smooth. They're just dirty. But with that, we're going to go ahead and put this cover back on here so I don't get anything in there that I don't want. And then whenever we get that other stuff, we'll come back and address all of this. Am I missing something? How does that go on here? There we go. So cover back on the screws. This long one, I had them down here. These two go in here. We'll go ahead and put them in so we don't lose them. Don't lose track of them. And we will not tighten them down, but we will put them in so we don't lose them. Run them in a little bit. It'll keep this gearbox clean. I'm going to put this guy in from the other side, just so we remember where the demon screw goes. And we'll set this over there. All right, kind of tidied up. All right, progress. Oh, and we got our box. The little screws there. I have to find a place. I might just like clear a spot over on the side here to set all this stuff, to leave it. Yeah, we'll lube that up. I'll actually clean that out, the rear transmission and stuff. We'll go ahead and clean that out. I'm not going to tear the differential apart because it feels fine. I don't think that's worth tearing apart. Chassis looks straight. Here's the rabbit hole though, right? Here's the rabbit hole. Because if we go back over here to Jenny's, right? The fucking chassis is $8.97. Like that's the rabbit hole to fall down in here. It's just like you go through and you look at stuff and it's like, well, why don't I just buy everything? Like, that's the problem. I do need to buy a body. But yeah, like, all the parts are so inexpensive. Like that. That's something, like, for you, John, if you're going to have a Jato, to have a spare differential, like, just to have it, like, even if you don't need it, to buy a spare differential for $13 is insane. Insane. Have a good night, Gilly. Stop back next time. We'll be here shooting the shit and tearing stuff apart. Don't tell my son that this is disassembled this much. He'll lose sleep. All right, let's get the front off here because we're nearing 12 o'clock. So we'll kind of get the front disassembled here. And this will be a good place to stop. We'll get these arms off. Like I said, maybe I'll do that on stream too, that's going to be noisy using a Dremel. You already have a new body for it. This is just yours in your mind, isn't it? It's like you've bought it already. Like I said, you're going to have to fight my son to the death for it. He thinks, and it's funny, I was that way when I was a kid too. In his mind, it was the smallest of the cars that we got. And he's the smallest member of our family, even though he's not the youngest. So in his mind, it was just his. It's like it just makes sense. These we will... we're not going to do a rebuild because, again, these look like they're in great shape and they're not leaking. But I will pop these open and fill them with fluid. Looks like they're a little low. And this one, for some reason, has the screw going in the backside. Hello? Gotta go that way. Yeah. Screw going in the backside. Ooh. Slow and firm. Because we're in aluminum. There, we are loose. And we'll Loctite all this stuff when we put it back together. All right, screw out. There's that shock free. That one's about the same. It just feels like it doesn't have enough fluid in it. Not as smooth as the rear. We got a linkage here that we're going to remove and throw away. I guess I shouldn't throw them away. I should check that the lengths are the same. Though I think I have the manual for this, and normally Traxxas does a good job of in the manual actually telling you the correct lengths for everything. Oh shit, that's a Revo. Never mind. Never mind. But yeah, Traxxas is pretty good about in the manuals actually having just an image where you can overlay these links and make sure they're the stock length, which makes doing like your initial geometry for the suspension a lot easier. Though we have them here, so we can just see if they're the correct length. It's one of those things, John, like we'll have to talk about it. If you're interested, I'm not opposed. Like, obviously the idea is that I'm going to part with this. These are not all the same length. These are not the same length at all. But it looks like these front ones, yeah, these front ones are about correct. So I guess we don't, I won't throw them away. I'll lay them here. I think we threw the other ones away, but I'll keep these just in case. It'll make it a little easier. But we'll get these, we'll get the front arms off. Get to a bare chassis. And then we still do have this lingering issue here of this stripped head. But if I can get everything else done, I'll just bring my Dremel. We'll put a slot, we'll cut a slot in the top of that and then get it out with a Phillips screwdriver. Is the most straightforward way of getting one out that you have access to, like that. All right, we'll set that over there. We're in the home stretch. We have a little bit of the steering to get out here. And I'll definitely, since we're going to be doing this on a regular basis, I'll definitely sort some music out. I know YouTube's a little bit of a pain with that stuff because I can't really listen to the stuff I want to listen to, so we're going to have to do some like non-copyrighted lo-fi chill beat kind of thing. Because I don't think I can get away with playing bands I actually like. No, it's not that bad, John. Especially, so for the reassembly, what I'll likely do is we'll go ahead and have a manual pulled up for the Jato, and like the exploded views that show you all the parts, and we can actually look at like specific screw lengths that go in different places, so that if we're not, if I'm not certain about what goes in each location, we can actually just confirm it before we go doing something stupid. But yeah, this feels good. I'm like super happy with this evening. Because the reassembly is going to go a lot faster than the disassembly. And then the more we get done, the closer we are to the exciting part, which is see if the motor runs, which is obviously an important part of the equation. Oh, that one, little prick. Get out. Screw doesn't want to come out. It's at a bad angle. Yeah, it's exciting. Like I got the Savage XL. It's a struggle, man. I'm waiting until the weather is better. It's been raining here for like 3 days. I'm waiting for the weather to be better so that I can take my camera out and actually, I want to like stream doing the break-in and stuff, which is probably gonna be a boring stream, but we can hang out and talk about nitros and RC and stuff. Maybe we could do a dual purpose stream where I take the Revo out that is ready to do some like low speed driving around, take the Revo out while we have the Savage running a couple tanks through it. And we can actually, we just have all, like the most obnoxious nitro stream ever, because I also have the other Savage that, so this, basically all this needs is tires. This one's actually in great shape. It needs cleaned a little bit. I cleaned it initially, but it needs cleaned off more. I have the head and stuff off. I was just checking this engine out. This engine's good. I have new servos because this has like dated radio equipment. I've got new servos and a new receiver and a new radio for this, and a new glow plug that I was waiting for. But whenever that stuff gets here, we're ready to fire this up because it runs, but it ran really, really bad, and I'm pretty sure it's because I had a bad glow plug. But we could have this. We could have this one out. Take this one out, get it running. Take the Revo out. Drive it around a little bit, and then break in the other Savage, and then hopefully not too far behind that, get this guy out and see if it actually runs okay. Get pro lines. Yeah, I'll have to look. I'm probably going to get a pair of stock tires. Like I wanted this thing to be, with the exception of the aluminum and stuff, I want it to be like super clean and basically completely stock. Because, I don't know, for one, I can get a pair of these exact tires, which I think these tires and wheels look good. I can get stock ones like pretty inexpensively. Do you have an X-Max? Yeah, I do. It's actually on the floor over here. I do have an X-Max. Are you from the U.S.? Whenever we got our stimulus checks during COVID, I used mine to buy an X-Max. Because we luckily, we didn't need the money, so it just got spent on kind of dumb shit, and I bought an X-Max. These are a little bit of a pain. Yeah, this is a little bit of a pain. So I'm actually going to leave those screws in and just take the wire out here. Yes, sir, in Florida. Nice. But yeah, whenever we got stimulus, what it was like 2020 or whatever, I forget when it was, is when I got the X-Max. It was an impulse purchase. I bought, it basically all went to RC stuff. I bought the X-Max The kids, I each bought, it was a brushed granite. I hated them, absolutely hated them. Bought a pair of Arma granites. And I think the newer ones are better because I heard nothing but good things about them. And then the 2 granites we had were fucking horrible. Absolutely terrible. Hated them. Motors burn up in both of them. Speed controls burn up in both of them. My son's, I had issues with the shocks. Instead of the shocks being threaded into the eyes like this shock on the Jato, this threads down into this shock end, this rod end. The granites have like a crisscross pattern on the end of the shock shaft, and then they were like molded on there, so as soon as they pulled out, they were unrepairable. Hated them. They're actually sitting here under the bench in a bunch of pieces because I had to occupy the kids the other day, and I just gave them some hex wrenches and let them tear the granites apart. So they disassembled them. Hated. Only RC I've ever owned that I didn't like. Freaking pair of granites. And then for a while, my daughter wasn't interested in RCs as much anymore, so we started robbing parts off of hers to fix my son's whenever he would have issues with it. But there's like weird parts disparities where like the front bearings are different sizes on both of those, even though they're the same version number. Very strange. Hate the granites. I like the other Armas I have, but I've really, really disliked those. What am I doing here? I'm gonna take these out. And you learn about the best top speed spur gear and clutch bell combo, please tell me for the Jato. Yeah, I don't know what the drawback is. I guess the worst case scenario, if you're over geared with Nitro, is that you just have stalls. With electric, it's a little bit scarier because you can burn your speed control up. That is a painful way to learn that you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. All right, so there's that front sway bar out. These, it's funny, I was mocking those little wrenches that come with the things, and I actually kind of need one. I don't have any here. These are also Phillips head for the sway bars, and they have a nut in the back, and I don't have a little wrench to get that nut. And if we had the little wrench from the thing we looked at, I'd actually be able to get that out easily. But this is fine. I guess the only other thing we need to take out is taking this front assembly off, and then we should be able to get these arms out. I also haven't looked at the steering on this. You only have the Jato. They're sweet. The one reason I'd recommend you get something else as well is if you want to just go out, like if you have a place where there's like rougher terrain, if you want to just go out and kind of mess around and kind of like, I mean, they call it bashing. So want to go out and bash. 4-wheel drive is like kind of king, for better or worse. I guess we got to take these off. I guess we're completely stripping this chassis. When I started this, I didn't really know that that's what the plan was. But yeah, 4-wheel drive is like kind of king for just dicking around in dirt and stuff. All right, so these are the front chassis bolts. Hey, that came off. It looks like in this screw set we have all of it. So we have these chassis bolts too that we can put new ones in. Oh, that's tight. Yeah, I'm actually probably ordering another car tonight before I go to bed. I've been on a kick. I deal with depression a lot, and usually when I get depressed, I buy things. So I've been buying some stuff lately. That's why I bought the Savage. And then I bought it and the weather's been terrible. All right, so that is a completely stripped chassis. I didn't plan on doing that tonight, but here we are. All right, and I don't actually know how to get this apart. I think we might be stuck because of this strip screw is holding these two pieces together. So I don't think we're going to be able to get the steering components out. They feel fine. Like that moves freely. It's nice and smooth. It's a little tight, but I think that's because of this. This needs lubed in there. But anyway, so we get these pins out. Pin number 1, pin number 2. Yeah, and these ones feel good. This all fits really tight. Not tight, but fits good. No slop. We'll still replace that blue piece if we get the other one. But, yeah, there we go. Disassembled. Completely tore down the Jato. Like I said, somebody loved this thing. Somebody bought all this stuff aluminum, got the cool like blue anodized hardware. All of this stuff also feels good. Like there's no play in this. Feels nice and snug. A little play in that, but that is not of any consequence. If you'd want to take a little bit out, we can shim that. Looks good. Everybody likes aluminum. But yeah, so yeah, depression. I don't want to bring the stream down. But yeah, depression is definitely a significant part of my life, unfortunately. Any of you guys, I don't know if any of you guys are here that remember that, but we talked about it years ago when I did 3D print streaming. But I have schizoaffective disorder. So I basically have schizophrenia and I'm bipolar, which is a lovely combination. It used to be real bad. I spent about a year of my life inpatient when I was younger, like in hospitals and stuff. Super fun time, but as you get older, the symptoms tend to get less bad. So I'm a little more chill as an adult. I guess we'll leave that there. But yeah, that's something I'll probably do a lot of videos on here in the future. Is I got a complete FPV set, like a headset, a little camera on a gimbal, a really long range radio, and I want to build like a dedicated FPV car to do some like outdoor videos and stuff, doing some FPV driving. But I almost ordered it last night, and I exercised a little bit of self-control, but I think I'm going to order it anyway. I want to get a Big Rock 6S. Let me pull it up here. Since I did set the screen share up, a Big Rock 6S just seems so good. It's a nice, like, really solid platform. It's big. I can put really big batteries in it. Let me pull it up here. I won't say where, but I have access to a deal. Let me share this real quick. So here, I just pulled up A-Main. This is like a very common site. Big Rock 6S. There's I'm going to say this quiet so my wife doesn't hear. Now there's $719 on A-Main, but I have access to one at like a significantly better price, because of a guy I know that kind of can hook me up. This thing seems great, right? Super cool body. It's like a fairly big vehicle. It's got the new version of the 150 amp ESC. It's got like a cool scale body, especially the white one. I just think it looks nice. But it has a really rigid body that would be good for mounting stuff. Because if I had a camera and stuff, I'd probably cut the windshield out and mount it in there to actually do like a driver POV. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on that tonight, maybe. XRT, the XRT is so expensive. Like, I think they're like over 1,000 now, aren't they? Let's pull it up here. I need to bring my wireless keyboard down. Yeah, I could be mistaken. I thought XRTs were like, yeah, they're like 1,000. XRT is sweet, but I own an X-Max. Yeah, I own an X-Max, and it's like basically the same. I know they're not actually the same, but basically the same. Plus, this is actually a little bit too big, I think. Because I think the Big Rock is maybe too big. Because I want to drive it around. I want to do some testing, like signal penetration testing and stuff in the town I'm in. I want to drive it around town with a little FPV camera on it and get people's reactions and stuff. And hopefully nobody stomps on it. I have to get upset. But the XRT seems sweet. I think I'd rather have an XRT than the X-Max because I prefer like the Truggies, because I like cars that handle well, and the X-Max does not handle well. It's fun as all hell, but the new Traxxas one, yeah, I forget what they called that. The buggy. I know the one you mean, like the giant scale one. They probably don't even have them in stock anymore. But they have one at the hobby shop down the street. I don't see them here. We can sort by price. Yep, there they are. There they are. Holy shit, these X-Max Ultimates are $1,500. That's so much. It's just like these. They're cool. Like, they're really cool. But I can tell you now, I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like the new what are they called? The Funko Pro Scale. They're two-wheel drive. That's the thing. A street car like this, the Jatos, two-wheel drive's fine. Little rally cars, little street cars like drifting, all that stuff, two-wheel drive, absolutely fine. This car has like all the trappings of being like an off-road vehicle. And if I was gonna do something that's off-road, I'd get like a 1/8 scale buggy that's two-wheel drive, and even then I'd kind of wish it was four-wheel drive. So much more fun. And they're expensive, like $1,300. There's like 2 or 3 other RCs I could get that I'd probably have more fun with for that much money. But obviously that thing is for somebody. I've seen people do cool things. Like one of the nicest looking ones I've seen so far is somebody taking that and putting XRT tires on it, and it seems sweet, but Jesus, at that point, you've got a $1,300 car with, what, $200 worth of tires on it. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Think of how many Nitros you could buy for that. I am like totally turning into a Nitro guy. I could buy, God, like I get on Facebook Marketplace all the time. There's a guy in the town I live in that he has a Nitro Slash that's basically like new for $250 that I have been trying not to buy. Wherever you're from, there's usually like multiple T-Maxes and stuff that you can get like inexpensively that make cool like project vehicles. Because like the Jato, the T-Max and the Jato, 2-speed, baby. Nitro is fun as shit already, but then when you have your Nitro and you hear it shift gears, it's just like chef's kiss. That's why I'm so excited to get the Savage up and running, because that is a 3-speed transmission in it. It's probably going to be a pain in the ass to keep maintained, but it's going to be fun. It's like the Revo's 2-speed. Super fun. Super, super fun. But I think that's a success. We have a bare chassis. I was not planning on having that tonight. So that's good. We got all these arms disassembled. I'll disassemble these the rest of the way off camera, because there's really nothing else to it. And we'll polish these up. Hopefully that goes okay. I'll just get some like some metal polish, like a little polishing wheel. Get these nice and shiny. Go ahead and order the hinge pin sets. And I think unless you guys can see something that I'm missing. Let me pull this back. Pull this back up and get down here. Unless you guys can see something that I'm missing, I think we have everything else. Because we have all these linkages. This is the throttle and brake with the brand new return spring. We have those. I have servos. I have a radio. I've actually got the radio. The radio I'm probably going to put, because I have two options. Where's the other one? This. So I got two. I got these off of Jenny's, and they're fairly inexpensive. I got two different ones here. I don't need the close-up camera. So one is this 3-channel Kyosho. This is the remote that comes with the Kyosho USA 1, the Nitro monster truck. And these seem like totally decent 3-channel radios. It's got all the settings on here on top with little knobs, which is nice for Nitros. You already have enough things you need to tweak. I don't want to be going into radio memory or menus, so I like having all the knobs. The other option is I do have, this is an HPI 4-channel. I think they're 4-channel. But I planned on putting this radio on the Savage because it's an HPI and it's an HPI Savage. It just kind of made sense. So I do have a new radio for this, because I think this is better than the Traxxas radio that came with this originally. And the Traxxas radios are kind of expensive, really. But yeah, this is probably going on the Jato. This Kyosho remote. It'll be a little weird to have a Kyosho remote, but it is a nice one. And it is a hell of a lot better than this guy. If you do end up buying this, John, you can just have this. I'll give this to you with the crystals and stuff. If you want the OG Traxxas TQ radio that came with it. Did you miss these days? Anybody? Showing up and pulling your 6-foot antenna out so your car didn't get 25 feet away from you and lose signal. But yeah. But no, John, we'll work something out. Keep showing up to streams. Talk to you about it. Yeah, it's freaking ridiculous. This is a thing of the past. Walking around with your fishing pole. Like when I was a kid, this is the way it was. I remember this. Look how freaking long that is. The camera is like 6 feet away from me, and I can almost touch it. Like, I'm almost touching the camera. Ridiculous. This also sets you up for the ultimate sadness when you're done running and you go to like push this thing in, and I have done it myself and I've seen other people do it, because this is hollow and fairly lightweight material. When you go to push this bad boy and instead you just fold it, you die inside. But yeah, it's cool seeing this old stuff, but man, AM radio versus this thing is like no comparison. This thing, you could probably have range out as far as you can see. This thing, yeah, not great. And these are okay. These radios are okay. They're okay. They're expensive for what they are. But anyway. You think you still have your Futaba? Well then, depending on which one you have, this one will look familiar though. This is not a Futaba radio, but if you remember this shape, this is almost exactly what the old Futabas look like the top here and stuff. They looked almost exactly like these. Like HPI clearly just like ripped off the Futaba like look. This one's tame. This one's only 3 feet long, but still, yeah. Old AM radio with the crystal in the top. You got to match your crystal to the receiver. But yeah, I remember as a kid, you do it, you might be about the same age as me. I remember as a kid, like seeing the Futaba radios in the magazines and thinking like, oh God, it's so nice. Look at it, it has switches on it, it's got knobs. I never had one, I couldn't afford them. Born in '69. So we're the same age in spirit. I'm a little bit younger than you. I was born in '84. Like to have that one. New and Trexas has, yeah, it's nice to be able to bind to multiple cars. That's my main radio that I use for my personal stuff is this. This is a Futaba, the T4 PM, because I have this bound to like 7 different cars and it just stores the models in it and stuff. This thing's great, but it doesn't look like the old Futabas. But honestly, I'm simple. Like most of the radios I've ever used, they work. And I don't really have like strong preferences. It's your first one that doesn't look like a Sega joystick. Yeah. I was looking, I had a bunch of, oh, they're over here. I got a bunch of these for my son to get him into RC. Because he always wanted to like look at RC videos, and we didn't want him on the internet all the time. Yeah, there's not many down here, but here's 2. I got on eBay because when I was a kid, the only real exposure I got was going to the bookstore and buying magazines and stuff. So I bought him a bunch of older car action magazines, which is like a radio-controlled car action. These are from like, I think I bought like 20 or 30 of them, and I gave him one every couple days for him to look at. So he has like a collection of these now. But they're from like roughly 2012 up to about 2018. So it's funny to look through these and see all these like, oh man, this is the stuff that just blew my mind as a kid. That's the wrong screen. Like this, like shit like this, the 6-wheeled big rig and stuff like that, like looking at all these magazines. I used to go into the bookstore and like sit on the floor and look through these, like look at all the tires and stuff. That's what I was saying about these Jato tires. Like I would have thought, when I was a kid, I would have thought this tread pattern was like the coolest freaking thing ever, chrome wheels. Because all the Rustler I had these like plain white plastic looking shit wheels. But yeah, just like looking through these, I always thought it was cool, like these all the speed cars where you had to solder all your batteries together yourself, make your own battery packs, stuff like this. Like this is back from the era when like Nitros were like the badass cars, because batteries weren't very good. Like look at the drivetrain in that. That is ridiculous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 gears per side for the drivetrain in this thing. Yeah, I don't know. I always thought these were like freaking cool. So it was cool to get on the internet and be able to like buy him this stuff for him to look at. Like these ones aren't that old, but it's like, it's funny to look at these old advertisements and stuff and the prices of things. But yeah, anyway. If you ever want a dose of nostalgia, get on, guys will sell these in like lots of like 5 or 6 magazines for like 20 bucks. They are pretty sweet to look through. But yeah, some of the prices, ridiculous. Like I think I bought the very first Rustler kit. I saved up and bought it when they released the very first Rustler kit. Like you got it as a kit and had to assemble it and stuff. I think it was $149, and that would have been in like 94, something like that, 1994. I was like 10 years old, 10 or 11. That was a shitload of money to me at the time. My dad owned a go-kart track, so I worked there, and I made $1 per hour when I was working. So I had to work like 160 hours to cover $149 plus tax. That was a lot of time. But, well, I think it's like 12:30. I think that's a night for me. I appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out. This is going to be a regular thing, so if anybody is interested, we are going to continue to do this. This project, unfortunately, not unfortunately, but this project, I'm going to get all this stuff organized and get it set to the side. I'm not sure what we'll do the next time I stream, because this, we're going to be waiting on the hinge pin stuff, and we're going to be waiting on me to polish the aluminum stuff. So we're going to shelve this for a little bit. It won't be too long. I'll get that stuck screw out, get the stuff organized, and then we'll start getting everything back together. And then hopefully the weather will improve. The only thing that sucks a little bit is that I can't stream outside now because I can't be out at midnight running nitros outside, and I can't run them inside. So I might try to do a little bit of streaming just like on my phone outside to do some of these like big initial starts and stuff for some of these projects. I think that'll be cool to do together. But we'll have to see how it works out. But for now, I think we're going to call it, this is the old, I'm sorry, I was confused. This is the old spur gear. I need to not get the old parts mixed in with the new parts. But I'll do that later. I'm getting tired. But yeah, this is probably going to get shelved. I don't know what we'll do next time, because I'll probably stream, not quite every night. If you guys haven't checked him out, let me pull his name up. If you guys haven't checked him out and you're into Nitro stuff, Hybrid, let me pull him up here. Yeah, here he is. If you're into Jersey dudes, you'll love this guy. But Hybrid 32 494, I don't know what the shit that means. Peace, man. Have a good night, John. But yeah, check out Hybrid. If you like Nitro stuff, he's all about Nitros. I'm trying to be an honorary member of the Nitro gang. But check him out. He streams on Fridays. in the evening, so I'm not going to stream while he's streaming, but he usually stops at about 10 o'clock, so hopefully we don't overlap, and I'll start streaming whenever he goes to bed. So we'll probably do that tomorrow. Might pull up the T-Max and start looking at it, because it's in better shape than this was by a little bit, but he said he's in Jersey. I believe so. I believe so. I think he's mentioned that, and if you hear him talk for 3 seconds, you'll know that he is in fact from Jersey, as far as I can tell. He's the most Jersey MFer I've ever heard in my life. But super fun personality, super positive streams. That's why it's fun to like go in there and hang out, talk to people, because there's no negativity or politics or any dumb shit. But like I said, he's going to be streaming tomorrow. I think Friday's like one of his normal days, so I'll be in there hanging out. I recommend you guys go in, hang out with him, and then after he gets off, I'll just start streaming like immediately. But yeah, Kevin Talbot. God, my son is like addicted to Kevin Talbot videos. It worried me a bit at first because he thought it was super cool to just beat the living shit out of RC cars, because that's what Kevin Talbot does. But I had to explain to him that we can't afford to replace things every time he breaks it. Let's make Nitro great again. Hell yeah. He's the main reason I ended up buying a Nitro, because I was watching videos and I was like, man, this dude has so much fun with Nitro. The sound is cool. They look like they're fun to drive. I like working on stuff, so I don't mind. Like, some people hate doing this shit, so I can see why they don't like Nitro, but I like doing it, so I like tinkering. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to get some food and go to bed. Appreciate you guys hanging out. I don't know who all's in here at the moment. Anybody that's in here, feel free to say hi. If I miss it, say hi again. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. This is just an excuse for me to get some stuff done and hang out with people that have similar interests. So yeah, hello to everyone who didn't say hi. Maybe say hi next time, but I'm going to bed. I will see you all tomorrow, hopefully, and have a good night.